The Nintendo Switch 2 is finally here. 2 months of build-up, 2 months of excitement, and now the big question is, now what? Well, I'm here to answer that. The next thing now, there's nothing. It's all done. I'm going to go outside, I'm going to get some fresh air, and I'm going to think about my choices in life. Okay, for full disclosure, it's just an empty box. Nah, it's empty. My Switch 2, right here, perfectly fine. And I gotta say, this thing has been a very, very fun experience to play. I've loved every minute of this. Mario Kart World, oh man, this has been such a fun game to play on here. I think it's been long overdue, honestly. You know, the last Mario Kart game was on the Wii U. It came to Switch within like the Switch's first couple of months, slapped Deluxe on it, added some new characters, and you know, I think this will I think they just added the Splatoon characters, I'm pretty sure, because Link and Isabelle, I'm pretty sure, was part of the DLC for Wii U, and then Deluxe, you got the Splatoon characters. I feel like did they add courses to that game when it first came out for Deluxe? I actually don't remember now. But anyways, a couple of years after, they added 48 more courses. They've been fun to play. But Mario Kart World, it's a whole different ballpark, and it's a different style of a Mario Kart game. Like, I think it's good to kind of change it up, and they did a really good job with this game. And then outside of Mario Kart World, you know, you got Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Those two games look phenomenal on the Switch 2. Just that 60 FPS, the performance, the quality. Like, as soon as you go in, as soon as you boot up Breath of the Wild, for example, you see it, and it's so noticeable. And you know, I gotta say, like, when Breath of the Wild first came on Switch 1, like, it was a fun breath of fresh air experience for, you know, a Zelda series. I do miss the more dungeon crawler style, you know, Zelda games. Majora's Mask, my favorite, love it, but Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, especially Tears of the Kingdom, because on Switch 1 you could kind of see the age a little bit towards the end. It's just Tears of the Kingdom had a lot more elements added with the whole underground than everything up in the sky, but it was really you could really see the age. And then having these games now on Switch 2, you could really see the quality of life difference, and it really showcased what these games should have looked like, in a sense, right? Like, it really showcases the art for these games. And then outside of the Legend of Zelda games, you know, there's Cyberpunk. Apparently this game has been really, really received well with Switch 2. The devs put like a lot of time optimizing this perfectly for Switch 2, and then the Switch 2 really takes in with that new next-gen hardware for Nintendo and really showcases a very high demanding game like Cyberpunk in such a very high quality way that, you know, it's mind-blowing. And, you know, from what I've seen from the gameplay, from the Nintendo experience, from some YouTubers that I watch, as well as from the Nintendo Direct, it looks pretty fun. I never got to really play Cyberpunk a whole lot when it first came out. I actually played it back on Stadia, and we all know how that went. Now, with the Switch 2 launch officially over with, and everybody who wanted the Nintendo Switch 2 got their console, and we're kind of in this, you know, period questioning, well, what's next? Now what? This is what this video is for. I'm gonna kind of give my own personal opinions of what I think might be coming in the future, as well as confirmed upcoming games for the Nintendo Switch 2. So right off the bat, on July 17th, we got Donkey Kong Bonanza, and this is the game I'm personally looking forward to myself. I think this is going to be like the Mario Odyssey for the Switch 2 generation. Not saying an Odyssey 2 for Mario isn't going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen soon. It might happen like maybe like next year or the year. Well, I'll talk about that more after in the video. But Donkey Kong Bonanza, July 17th. Donkey Kong got a new style. Same with Diddy Kong. I'm kind of hoping the other cons will kind of be in there, unless they've already shown them off. I've only seen Diddy Kong in his new style. and the little rock guy that Donkey Kong gets as a buddy that goes on his shoulder, and I've seen Donkey Kong's new style. And of course, with the new style comes new gameplay, and some of the new gameplay mechanics I've seen for this game is like impressive. You know, you can punch your way through the ground, punch your way through the mountains. If there's like a caged item just there, well, instead of breaking the cage, what would Donkey Kong do with this goofy little smile? Punch the ground, dig underneath, come up, grab the item. These new gameplay mechanics they added, they look so much fun. And, you know, I think you're going to see a lot of creative ways people are going to do things. Almost like how back when Mario Odyssey came out, you had like the Cappy tricks where you would throw the hat, do parkour, and, you know, they would be putting the Luigi balloons in like these hard pain in the arse, you know, reach areas, and people were struggling trying to get those. I like, obviously it's probably not going to go to the extent of that unless they have some type of like multiplayer little mini game function like that game. But I think you're going to see some crazy things in this game people are going to discover because of this game's all this. And speaking of crazy, I just realized too, and it's kind of just setting in here for me, there hasn't been a new Donkey Kong game since the Wii U. Kind of like Mario Kart. You know, they had Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on the Wii U. They took that game, brought out the Switch 1, put Deluxe on it, added Donkey Kong, and I bought it. You know, I bought it. That was my way of playing Tropical Freeze. I never had it on Wii U. And then, you know, a couple of months ago, they had Tropical Freeze. They had Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. They took the Wii version, brought that to Switch 1, and it's over there too. You know, I love Donkey Kong. What can I say? But, you know, for a new game, you know, it's been so long, and, you know, I'm you know, it's pretty cool to see we're finally getting a new game. Like, I'm glad they're doing something with Donkey Kong. I know throughout the whole Switch 1 life cycle, everyone's like, when are we getting a new Donkey Kong game? Whether it was a Donkey Kong Country 3 Returns, the third one for that trilogy, or better yet, a new 3D platformer Donkey Kong game. We never had that since the 64. That's crazy. But either way, I'm excited. You know, I'm excited for this new chapter for Donkey Kong. It seems they're putting like a lot of work into the brand itself now, which is really great. You know, we got the Donkey Kong side for Universal Studios now being built, or it's done now. I honestly, I forget. You got the redesign in the Mario movie. You got the redesign in this game. It seems like they're really pushing Donkey Kong to be like a bigger IP than what it used to be. And, you know, I'm looking forward to it. You know, there's just a lot of excitement with this game. And, you know, if Mario Kart World wasn't, you know, going to sell you on a Switch 2, you better believe Donkey Kong will. Like, you know, this is going to be the game. This is going to be the 3D platformer game, that Nintendo charm that people want to play on the Switch 2. And if that doesn't float your boat, then I got another game that you might be looking forward to playing on the Switch 2. Boom. Mario Party Jamboree. But not this edition. We got it coming on Switch 2. It's going to be called Super Mario Party Jamboree with Jamboree TV. Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV comes to us on the beautiful date of July 24th, and it will utilize the Switch 2 camera that you can buy separately for the Switch 2. So if you got a Switch 2 and you got the camera and you want to kind of experiment more with this camera, this is definitely a game that will showcase that for those mini games. I think this game should have been like a launch title, like when the Switch 2 actually, you know, came out. But, you know, maybe they needed more time to get these mini games more polished. But yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to add any terms of quality of life improvements like frame rates or performance, but this game is coming to us on July 24th. And if you got like I said, if you got the Switch 2, you got the camera, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. I played it. I put a lot of hours into the Switch 1 version with my fiance, and we've been having a blast with that game. And if Mario Party Jamboree and Jamboree TV wasn't enough to, you know, get that excitement going for the Switch 2, we got Kirby and the Forgotten Lands and Star-Crossed Worlds coming to us on August 28th. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game myself. I don't think the DLC, the Star-Crossed Worlds, is available on Switch 1, unfortunately. I could be wrong. I think it's only through the Switch 2 edition, though. But I am looking forward to it myself. I love Kirby. I grew up with Kirby. I always like how it's like a little cute, like whimsical adventure, and then near the end, the climax just goes straight up. Everything escalates super quickly. Next thing you know, you're fighting the soul of the enemy, and then you defeat it, you purge it, and then the world is saved. And then the next big thing for, I wouldn't really say it's a Nintendo IP, but it is a Nintendo exclusive. We got Pokemon Legends ZA, or ZA, however you guys want to pronounce it. I just say ZA, it rolls off the tongue better. But anyways, that's coming to us on October 16th. But Pokemon Legends ZA is another great game to look forward to for the Switch 2. It's a brand new Pokemon Legends entry, and to my knowledge, it takes place right after Pokemon X and Y. When we first saw this game, it showed like blueprints for like a little concept art, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is like it takes place before X and Y, like kind of back in the old days where you're building up Lumio City from the ground." But in reality, again, I could be wrong. It takes place right after X and Y, especially where one of the people you work with in the game is the old king himself, AZ. So this is going to be pretty exciting. It is coming for Switch 1 as well. I'm going to get it for Switch 2 just because it looks so much better on the Switch 2. Like, you take the two gameplays side and side from what they've shown off so far, and Switch 2 really looks a lot better with performance and quality. But again, that's also a Pokemon thing. Not to go too into it, but there's some Pokemon games on Switch 1 where it really shows age, or they weren't really there in a sense. But Legends ZA looks a lot better on Switch 2, and I'm excited for this one. And yeah, that's pretty much all so far for Switch 2. That's all the confirmed first-party games. We got Metroid Prime 4 coming. I'm going to assume that's going to come out in like November, close to holiday season. I think they want a big game to close off the year. Metroid Prime 4 would be perfect. I am super excited for this game. I can't wait to check out the mouse controls for this game as well with the Joy-Con. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Then, of course, you got Kirby Air Riders. Not confirmed yet for a release date, but it is on the way. I'm super excited for this game as well. I think this one's probably going to be around, I would say, if it's not... I don't think it's going to come out this year. I would love to play it. I love the GameCube version so much. And, I'm glad we're getting a sequel for that finally after so many years. And I'm honestly surprised we're getting this game. I really didn't think they were going to tap into another type of fun arcadey kind of kart game where you got Mario Kart. I mean, F-Zero is kind of over there somewhere, and the only new F-Zero we really got was 99. Nothing actually like new in a franchise. Not even F-Zero GX remake, but it is going to be on the GameCube online for Switch, so that's going to be pretty cool. But Kirby Air Riders, it's on the way. I think it's going to be early next year or middle of next year, somewhere around 2026. And again, hope I'm wrong. I love to see it this year, but I think it's going to be a 2026 game. Then, of course, another big game coming, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. This game might be coming out this year. I would imagine usually when they announce a Hyrule Warriors game, it usually releases within the next couple of months, or like anywhere from like 6 to 8 months. I think if this is going to come out, it might be a December game, just like the last one, or it could even release September. That's kind of my rough guess. And then, of course, not this year, 2026, 100%, definitely. It would be in 2026. But this game looks pretty cool as well. One of the main characters you play is going to be Zelda, and this takes place back when Zelda gets transported back in time in Tears of the Kingdom, and then you're kind of playing throughout her adventure in this game. So I'm looking forward to this one, and I think it's going to be a really cool entry in the series. I'm still glad they're still doing these games. But yeah, they're a lot of fun. It's pretty much a Legend of Zelda take on the Dynasty Warrior games. Super fun game, lots of great gameplay, and I'm really excited for this one. Now, with all the confirmed stuff coming and speculation of release dates, now I can get into the fun part of the video, where I can use my brain and my psychic powers and try to guess what's gonna come and what I think is gonna happen. Right off the bat, just going off by every year basis. There's going to be a Nintendo Direct coming up soon. It's probably going to show off more for Donkey Kong Bonanza, as well as probably maybe Kirby Air Riders, fingers crossed. You're going to probably see more on Metroid Prime 4 with a release date for Metroid Prime 4. And then, of course, maybe more stuff on Legends ZA. But then again, there's a Pokemon Presents coming up in July, so maybe not. That one even might show off the next generation of Pokemon, because that's also going to happen after Switch 2. You're going to see the next generation of Pokemon happening soon. And if it's not announced at the Pokemon Presents, it's going to be at the Pokemon Day for 2026. there's going to be a Mario Odyssey coming, whether they're going to call it Mario Odyssey 2 or they're going to call it like another Mario game like Mario Horizons. Everybody is seeming to use the Horizon name lately, so you might see a Mario game called Mario Horizon, another 3D platformer game from that studio where you're going to have this cool epic adventure. It would be nice to see Cappy return, like that'd be kind of nice, but it's definitely coming. Bonanza is definitely the Odyssey for this generation, but I really do think we're going to see a sequel to Mario Odyssey come. If not announced for next year, this year, it's going to be announced next year for later the holiday season for 2026 or 2027. Animal Crossing, that's going to happen. I feel like there might be one coming soon, or maybe not. I don't know. I can kind of feel it somewhere tingling in my old psychic Nintendo evaluation of my brain. I mean, obviously they're not going to pass on not having Animal Crossing for this generation, Wii U. But Animal Crossing is definitely going to happen. And Animal Crossing New Horizons, it was one of the biggest Nintendo sellers for the Switch 1 generation for Nintendo IPs, and it launched in such a delicate period of everybody's times where we couldn't really socialize and interact with people. So this game helped bring everybody together in a very nice, comforting way to help pass the time, and it was something that everybody looked forward to playing and interact with their friends and family. Animal Crossing is one of those games. It's definitely not going to miss Switch 2. Like we're going to see it. I feel like maybe 2028 we could see a new Animal Crossing game, and that's kind of where I'm going to place my bet. I know too the same studio that works Animal Crossing, and now they could be split up into different teams, but the same studio for Animal Crossing does work on the Splatoon games, and I feel like we might see a new Splatoon game first before we see Animal Crossing, because Splatoon 3 ended. Not ended, but their events, all their Splatfests are done now for this game, and they're gonna want like a big multiplayer push for the Switch 2 console to help upsell the expansion plus pass and all that. So I feel like Splatoon 4 is gonna come before Animal Crossing. I honestly, if I had to guess with Splatoon 4, we're gonna have Splatoon 4 announced this year for next year, or announced next year for later that year. And then once that's out, we'll start going on the Animal Crossing train. And again, Animal Crossing, the next game, I can 100% seeing it come 2028. And I think what they might do to play their cards right, you're going to see Animal Crossing, the GameCube version, come into the Switch Online for GameCube to kind of tie people over until the next, big Animal Crossing game. And then for all you Fire Emblem fans, that's definitely coming. I gotta say, I really, I love Three Houses. I'm one of those people. I really like Three Houses. I never got to experience a lot of the Fire Emblem games growing up. Like the tactical turn-based games, it wasn't something for me. But Three Houses was really fun. I got Fire Emblem Engage. I played a bit of that. I did enjoy it. That's actually one of the games I really do want to go back and finish. And I'm actually kind of curious if it has like a Switch 2 free upgrade like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, like on those lines. You just plop the game in and oh there you go. But yeah, definitely a new Fire Emblem game coming. It's 100% probably going to be announced this year for later this year or next year. I really do think we're seeing a new Fire Emblem game for this year. Smash Brothers. 100% it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a new entry like Smash. I don't know, like call it Smash Jiu-Jitsu or something. Like they're gonna have Smash Bros Ultimate. They're gonna put Deluxe on it, or Smash Brothers Ultimate Switch 2. I think how they're gonna handle Smash Brothers 2, because again, it has one of the biggest fighting rosters of all time, especially for Smash Brothers. And it's one of those games where you never really got to see it cap up to like 100 characters. So I think what they're gonna probably do is you're gonna have Smash Brothers Ultimate Deluxe. This is what I'm just gonna call it: Smash Brothers Ultimate Deluxe. You're gonna have probably 2 new characters put in that game right off the bat for the deluxe edition. It's gonna include all the DLC and all the fighters that you would buy as DLC from the Switch 1 version. You're gonna probably have a level for each of those 2 new characters. Ideally, I'm hoping to Spyro and Crash. Would love to see them come in. And if it's not them, it's probably gonna be like, I don't know, maybe like another Splatoon character or like another Nintendo character in for those 2 characters. And then with that, you're going to probably see a new Fighters Pass, introduce 5 more characters, and then you're going to have, you know, your levels corresponding with them, and then that might be it then for Smash Brothers for this generation. Or they might do a 4th Fighters Pass following the 3rd one for Deluxe, or technically the 2nd one if you want to count Deluxe as its, you know, own thing. But it's definitely coming. I can't see them passing it up. And, you know, they might not even do it. They might just be like, here's a brand new Smash Brothers game with a whole different fighting roster. Obviously, the same, you know, Pikachu, Mario, Luigi, Link, Captain Falcon. They're not going to just not have those characters in there. But I really think because Ultimate is such a big roster of fighters, they're going to want to take that, put Deluxe on it, add, you know, all the DLC, and then something new to kind of make it more upselling for the Deluxe Edition. And then you're going to have a Fighters Pass 3, brand new characters, and then you might see a 4th one after. Plus, they're going to probably even want to, you know, keep the amiibo line going. So doing it this way, you're going to be able to have more amiibos being made, and then there you go. Okay, I'm going to put this one out here. I feel like we're going to see it in the Switch 2 life cycle, especially with, you know, Donkey Kong returning into the spotlight. I think we're going to see a new Star Fox game. I really hope we do. Even if it's just taking the Wii U version and bring that over, or just completely retconning that or something. Like, you know, I've always wanted for years. I've always wanted to see Star Fox come back. I've always wanted to see them take one of the endings through Star Fox Command, or even just Assault, and then go from there. Or maybe continue off Wii U, because Wii U was also like a retelling of the Star Fox series, and then they could kind of just, okay, here's Star Fox Wii U remastered or remade for Switch 2, and get rid of the gyro controls, for God's sakes. Oh, that was horrible. Ugh, it was just so awkward. Anyways, that's neither here or there, but would love to see it come, fix the gyro controls, and then down the road, you know, you'll see a new Star Fox game through that, or just a new one in general. You know, I think this is going to be the generation we're going to see a new Star Fox entry, and I think that's going to be really cool if it happens. If it doesn't happen, oh well, I'm still one of those fanboys that are, you know, hoping to see it come. But if it does, it would be great, and I think, you know, there's definitely a market for it. Like, I can't see them not giving up on that IP. Like, I feel like it's going to happen. And if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, we might even get Mother 4. That'd be sick, because what they could do, they could take the first 3 games, put them on like in a HD collection, and yeah, Mother 3 in the US. That'd be sick. Localize that over this way. That'd be great. That would sell it alone. A nice 3-pack collection, all done up in like the Square Enix HD 2D pixel style remasters. And then see how this sells, and then there you go, put it towards Mother 4, or just release Mother 4, you know, especially when, you know, if you want to go down the rabbit hole. And there you go. I think Mother 4 could potentially be a big game on Switch 2 if they were to go down the rabbit hole and invest into that IP. What other Nintendo IPs could they do? We'll probably see a Yoshi game. I can't see them not. It feels like they've done a Yoshi game now, like that, like crafty Woolly World style. They've done one for Wii U. They've done one now for Switch. I could see them doing one for definitely Switch 2. They could do it in like even like a paper kind of style, like a paper, I don't know. Or maybe take a break from that style, go back to like the Yoshi Island style, and do it in like a new 2D, 3D platformer game. I think that'd be kind of cool. You get to revisit Baby Mario screaming out the top of his lungs over the Magic Koopas coming out and swiping them up, and you get to refight, you know, maybe like a big gigantic baby Bowser, you know. But I mean, there's lots of, you know, things they could do with Yoshi. And like 100% there's a Yoshi game coming. I can't see them not having a Yoshi game for Switch 2. Oh, Pikmin 5. Pikmin 5 is definitely going to happen. Probably later in the life cycle for the Switch 2, but Pikmin 5 definitely happening. And, you know, to kind of circle back, I just thought about it. The Pokemon games, like we're 100% going to see a 10th generation. There's been rumors speculating about like it's gonna take place in like the open waters with different islands that you can go in and explore, and you know that's when I think what's called Pokemon Gales and Pokemon Tides. I think that's what the one of the leaks were. But you know, either way, a 10th generation's coming. It'll probably be showing off at the Pokemon Presents, like I said earlier, or the Pokemon Day 2026 of next year. But it's definitely coming, and it's probably going to come out next year. I like to see like a new Let's Go game. Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I mean, they were cute and fun. And you know, just having like the Pokeball thing and just throwing at the TV to catch the Pokemon. Well, not actually throwing it, but just that movement, you know. Like it was fun. It was a little cute charm to it. Like I think that would do good. They could do this. The next one's based off of like the Johto region. I think that'd be sick. And you know, on the topic of Pokemon, still, I mean, we might even see the Black and White and Black and White 2 remakes, whether or not it's done by the team that did the Diamond and Pearl remakes, or we could see like the actual ground up remix where they take Black and White and they redo them in, you know, the current generation style. I think that'd be sick. And like something's gonna happen with those games. Like I really feel like they're gonna get remade, but it could either go, I could play it safe, keep it how it was with the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl remix, have it like that, or they could have it where they take the game, build it from the ground up, and it's the same style as the next generation of Pokemon games. But you know, they're definitely going to happen. We might even see you know, another Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game come out into the wild. Maybe they might remake it the Explorer game, whether they do Explorers of Time and Explorers of Time and Darkness, or they just go and do Explorers of the Sky. I can see them doing that. And then, of course, you know, outside of all that, you know, you'll have your next big Legend of Zelda game. They're obviously not going to have a Switch 2 without a next new Zelda game. I do think the next Zelda game will be later on in the life cycle of the Switch 2. We only did just get Tears of the Kingdom back in 2022, I believe, if memory serves me correct. Because honestly, that's kind of a blur now, that time period. But you know, it only just came out, and I would imagine that the next Legend of Zelda game, like the mainline Zelda game, you might see another one now come. Maybe even being generous, maybe like in the middle of the Switch 2 life cycle or near the end, but it's definitely going to happen. We could probably see like another top-down, like cartoony style Zelda game, kind of like like Between Worlds. I think that'll be really cool. I think that would go over really well for the Zelda audience. I'll love to see it. But yeah, I definitely see like a couple Legend of Zelda games happening. I can definitely see them adding Twilight Princess to the GameCube Online. It would be a missed opportunity if they don't. But yeah, that's pretty much what I want to talk about for the video that I'm doing today. With the theme being Now What, you know, like myself, but just got a Switch 2. For those that don't have a Switch 2 yet, you know, with the Switch 2, the hype finally built up, the Switch 2 released, and now we're in the whole, well, now what? Right, so again, we got all these great games that are on the way that are coming for Switch 2 with confirmed release dates, and then there's some without confirmed release dates so far, like Metro Prime 4 for first-party games. You got, you know, great third-party games on their horizon. I think you're going to see like a lot of third-party publishers put more into the Switch 2. Like again, you know, Elden Ring, the developer from Software, From Software got their new game coming for Switch 2 next year. That's crazy. I mean, that's such a huge step for Nintendo to see, you know, developers From Software have an exclusive coming for Switch 2. And of course, you know, you're going to see Legend of Zelda, you're going to see your 3D Mario, you're going to see your Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, Smash Brothers. Like, it's going to be a really good generation, and I'm really excited to see what this new era of Nintendo brings us. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I just kind of want to give back to the Nintendo community in some way, shape, or form. It's a community that I love and I'm passionate about so much, and I just want to, you know, bring my own positive thoughts and ideas out there with Nintendo Switch 2. I'm excited to see again what's coming for this thing. Very excited. And yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.